Domo domo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to this week's Manga Lounge Jujutsu Kaisen edition. I am your host, official translator Steady. We are here for a bonus chapter today. Of course, it kind of threw me for a loop too. I had heard kind of rumors on the grapevine that perhaps something like this was happening, but then when I actually got the chapter, it's like, whoa, okay. But you know, it's of course that means one more week away from the main story and stuff. But to be honest, it was pretty good timing, I would say. It kind of gives us room to breathe a little bit, and it was very, very funny. But you are in the right place for all these little self-aware jokes, fourth wall breaks, and Japanese references and stuff. I'm sure some of them went over people's heads, but don't worry. This is what I live for. All those years watching Japanese TV and watching Japanese comedy and stuff. This was right up my alley. So hopefully I can enlighten you guys a little bit as to the little references that perhaps confused people. I'm trying to get this week's video out as ASAP. But then a little video game called Yakuza Like a Dragon came out, and then the world came to a standstill for me. I'm not gonna lie. I have very poor willpower when it comes to video games that I am into, and I'll do that later. I'll do that later. It's absolutely amazing. I'm a huge fan of RPGs. I think it works absolutely amazing, and I think a lot of people have come around to the idea as well. So that said, my question for you this week is, if you are a gamer, what are some of your favorite games of all time? Let me know in the comments. I'm a big gamer myself. I'm a huge fan of the Devil May Cry series, Final Fantasy series. One of my favorite, I don't know why this sticks out so much to me, is SSX, the snowboarding game back on like the PS2 for regular SSX and SSX Tricky on GameCube. That was my jam. Man, that was so much fun. But anyways, enough about that. Let's get into this week's bonus chapter. Incoming. Hope you got something to drink ready. I've got my special Jujutsu Kaisen cup at the ready. Look at that beauty. Nobara, Yuji, Gojo, Fushiguro. Oh, and there's also a little secret too. Let me make... Alright. Look at that. Yeah! Damn! Akutami avatar on the bottom. Very cool, right? Alright. Enough. Let's get to it. Bonus chapter number 1 incoming. Let's do this. Alright, so first off, we start out with this little page here saying, you know, this week's Jujutsu Kaisen is taking a break from the main story with a special bonus chapter instead. And although it's not exclusively said, it's hinted that perhaps Akutami Sensei was a little bit under the weather. I know I'm the official translator and all that, but I think people would be very surprised how little I'm told about anything. Really. People expect, like, yeah, I know certain things, like certain schedules that are coming out, or perhaps certain projects that are coming out, or whatever like that, but even if I did know some certain stuff in regards to this as well, I wouldn't be able to say anything anyways. I am under a NDA, non-disclosure act, so I'm just putting that out there, okay? But as far as Akutami Sensei, hopefully they're okay. You know, I'm sure they've been extremely busy with like the anime and stuff coming out too. That's just my guess. But it sounds like it's not anything to be seriously concerned about. As it says on the little sign here too, we're not on hiatus. And Akutami Sensei just taking a little bit of a rest. And hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come. It's, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen has been fine up until now, but and even if Akutami Sensei did need to take some time off, we as fans should support that. The mangaka and their assistants and the editing team, they work stupid hours, and they have to meet these crazy deadlines. I'm all for, like, as much as I like Jujutsu Kaisen every week and stuff like that, I'm an adult. I can wait. You know, I'm not some sort of petty teenager who has to resort to leaks, and it's not just teenagers, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, and then we see Dagon kind of a little bit under the weather there too. But yeah, as we move on to the second page, so immediately with the very self-aware atmosphere, it's like fourth wall break immediately. I absolutely love it, you know. And this is so great because Akutami Sensei, as we've seen, is just a complete genius when it comes to comedy, right? So something like this is very welcomed, as we see Kugisaki being like, hey, what's with the bonus chapter all of a sudden? That's exactly our question, right? And then Gojo saying, well, it's to celebrate the fact that the anime is starting. Even Gojo's kind of bubble covers Itadori's face, you know, just like cutting him off, like, it's a special bonus, okay? It's... I love that. So it is kind of self-deprecating humor here. Perhaps it is kind of indicating that Akutami Sensei perhaps couldn't really quite make the deadline, which does speak to, I mean, it's either health or could be content related as well, like just certain ideas or certain drawings or something just couldn't come together within the certain timeline. I don't know. But anyways, as we have Kugisaki in her fresh casual clothes here, and the little comment by Itadori saying, I bet you got that from a fashion magazine or something anyways, didn't you? Which, again, a little bit of self-deprecating humor. It's perhaps Akutami Sensei saw a fashion mag and was like, just copied the design or something. I'm not going to go into the research to find this exact outfit or anything like that, but maybe someone out there will. A fashionista, Jujutsu Kaisen fan who will see that outfit and be like, oh, I recognize that. Maybe you'll see it on Twitter. I don't know. But page 3, we've got Gojo with the, let's put in some weird paneling we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And I love it. It works so perfectly because it almost looks like his blindfold anyway. So what would have been even funnier is if he took off the blindfold and you had the panel instead. I think that would have been a little bit more of a one-up, but whatever. Then how about screen tones we don't normally use by Itadori, and then you have kind of like the, what do you call it? Like, this is kind of like a typical like Chinese motif that you see on like Chinese like not silverware, like bowls and things like that, or like decoration and things like that. But as Fushiguro says, you know, there's a reason why people don't use this kind of stuff. And then pages 4 and 5, the double spread. Let's use the pages to our pages space to our heart's content. To hell with the page rate. Oh man, I'm just, you know, it's the whole idea with the page rate. You know, mangaka, of course, they can have these really beautiful like 2-page spreads of, you know, without text, or if it makes a point, then sure, they can use page space, you know, how they want, but they have to kind of keep in mind, you know, keep conscious of the fact that they can't just, because they do get paid apparently. I mean, it depends what company you work for and what the pay is, but you know, any mangaka, any author or whatever has to keep in mind this whole idea of page rates. You know, like you get paid based on the content that you produce, so no wasting pages and things like that, right? But that's why this joke is kind of really self-aware and funny, right? But then Fushiguro coming into you know, obviously the party poopers, and you know, breaking the fourth wall might leave kids confused. And Gojo's like, don't say that. And then kind of again a little self-aware joke here by Akutami Sensei, the mangaka in their 20s living in Tokyo. I know that, but it's so nice and simple to use fourth wall breaks. Utilizing self-deprecating humor and stretching out content is so convenient. Oh man. And then Gojo kind of depressed, like, hey man, I'm just doing my job. I'm not the one calling the shots. Take it up with Akutami Sensei. And then Itadori obviously coming in for the save, and I love this little face by Fushiguro. Look at him, it's like, well, what's going on with his face here? But then, you know, Itadori's saying like, hey, whatever, you know, who cares? It's a bonus chapter. Let's have some fun, as long as it doesn't end up in the graphic novel. But, you know, and again, this is so self-aware, because I guarantee you that this is going to end up in the graphic novel. You know, you just know it is as soon as they say something like this. And then Gojo with the big ass panel. I know, right? Damn, that's a big panel by Fushiguro. Alright kids, huddle up everyone, no slacking off just because it's a bonus chapter. Kugisaki with the speak for yourself. And then this is where and Gojo says, Jutsu High, first years, happy? And then jam. This is and as Fushiguro kind of is thinking to himself, why the Shim asterisk Jiro can't, you know, the chant, it's blotted out because it's a copyright kind of thing, right? Like saying Mickey Mouse or Disney or something like that or whatever, right? So this whole Shimajiro thing, it's actually Shimajiro. It's basically a Japanese kids TV show, kind of a la Sesame Street, kind of, but even for an even younger audience, I would say, like made for like toddlers. And you know, it's those typical shows where, you know, it's like, all right kids, let's dance along, and they have these kind of fun like songs and stuff. And then a famous one is this kind of tiger mascot guy who dances with his animal friends, called Shimajiro. And one of their songs is, he dances and sings to this song called Happy Jam Jam, which is the reference that we have here. So it's very, very funny. But as we move on to page 8 here, then you know, it's like, all right, we got to start with choosing the setting. And then he brings out this little spin thing that has a beach, a rooftop, and a field of snow. The joke here being that they're all really easy to draw, right? Like if you think about it, like a rooftop is supposed to be just like a concrete, you know, ground concrete floor, and then you just have like the sky, or maybe like some buildings in the background and stuff like that. It's nothing too confusing, right? And then the beach, depending on what kind of beach you draw, which later we find out is another little joke that Gojo says, you know, easy to draw again. And then a field of snow, which is just right, super easy to draw. So again, kind of the self-aware humor here that they're kind of slacking off and just, you know, choosing something that's convenient for the mangaka to draw. But then Itadori hits beach, and then as Gojo is saying here, beach, better stay away from the busy ones with beach huts and umbrellas and all that, because it's a pain to draw, right? A private beach would be better, as Fushiguro recognizes the joke, and you know, I knew it. And then of course the beach means gotta do it, the swimsuit chapter. and of course, as you know, and I as well, and of course everyone else, you know, then we start, our imagination starts running. It's like, oh, Kugisaki and maybe Gojo and all that, right? Maybe Mei will be there, and you know, that kind of stuff. So as Kugisaki with the self-awareness here, so the time has finally come for me to you know. And then man, the double page with Todo, oh my gosh, it's so funny. And this is it had to be something like this, right? It with the way that Akutami Sensei's kind of comedy and stuff works here, we weren't going to just get like a straight up lineup of the girls in their bikinis or the guys in their sexy trunks and things like that, right? So very, very funny. But as we see on the next page, it's just like a little cutout too, and it's got the radio playing the the beach sounds in the background, as Kugisaki's saying, you know, oh, already with the muscle gags, huh? So I guess we already run out of ideas. And I love how you know, opportune Fushiguro is with all of these little jokes with the interjections. You know, he's in this situation, he's like the tsukomi, you know, the guy who interjects to all the little jokes and stuff, right? kind of a typical Japanese humor style. But then Itadori comes along with the microphone saying, hey, how about we sing a little bit to pass the time? And then Kugisaki makes a comment here, says, let's see which one of us gets Jazz Rack's attention first. So Jazz Rack is kind of an association in Japan. You know, they'll like teach music classes and things like that. And then, you know, you can also get like certifications and stuff like that too. That's based on the research that I did very quickly. I'm sure they have a lot of other services too. They even like sponsor like concerts and things like that too. But as Kugisaki starts singing here, you know, instrumentals, I think I'm pretty sure this is just kind of like a little, you know, it's to avoid copyrights and things like that, I believe is what it is. The joke is, you know, so she's singing, but she's just singing instrumentals. As if you look closely, then also again Fushiguro with the little, just like, oh god, kill me already. And then Itadori going over to Gojo with the little, hey, you're kidding me, could it be that you suck at singing? Finally a weakness. And Gojo again here with the self-awareness, you know, it says, note, my official profile states that besides my personality, I'm perfect in every way. And this is something actually that Akutami sensei has mentioned in like extra content. They were asked in like a little interview saying, like, so Gojo, like, what is Gojo's weakness anyways, you know, like, what's his whole shtick? And you know, Akutami sensei was saying like, well, he really is like the strongest as far as that's concerned. He doesn't really have a weakness, but if I were to say a weakness, like, it's his personality. Like, he doesn't have a personality, again, which I've talked about before as well. I talked about that's what it was. I talked about it in my recent anime lounge when he was talking to Ijichi when Itadori had died, and he was like, you know, Ijichi, I have a lousy personality. And Ijichi's like, yeah, I know. And then serious face slap for you later, Ijichi, right? So it is kind of like a running gag that Gojo, you know, and it's kind of to be expected. Someone of Gojo's kind of caliber, he's probably going to have a few quirks, right? But he apparently is amazing at singing, and he's good enough for the night of Hit Parade, which is, again, this is one of those kind of jokes that go over a lot of people's heads, but it's kind of an old music show where you would have like the latest artists and stuff come on and, you know, sing live, and then, you know, talk a little bit with the host and things like that. And they still, so it's kind of like your top hits of recent music kind of deal, but like live and things like that. And sometimes they would even have like celebrities and stuff come on and as well and sing and things like that too. But you know, then Gojo here's talking about like, you know, but now that the anime started, I don't know how responsible it would be to mess with the possible implications for my voice actor, right? Kind of saying like, you know, if I'm really, really good at singing, is that responsible for, you know, my voice actor, Nakamura-san, you know, all of a sudden the setting is that Gojo is a super good singer, so it would raise the bar for my voice actor, right? And Itadori's just like, dude, shut up. Just don't, you know, stop pretending that you're not just trying to be in the manga, get more panels here by talking. And that's why Gojo Sensei's like, you caught me. It's Gojo Sensei's time to shine. And then as he's singing instrumentals as well, and Fushiguro's still with the, God, just kill me. Yeah, so I mean, that's what we get for that one. But then we get this extra bonus with Sukuna. And then he's saying, this is a reference to the very end of the Goodwill event arc where Todo and, you know, where actually Fushiguro and Maki are fighting. And then Todo and Itadori come in for the tag out. And then, you know, Hanami's doing his thing. So this is Hanami in the first panel saying, you know, but not as sharp as before. And then and all the vines start coming out. And then Fushiguro on the second panel saying, I choose who to save. Unlike you guys, I'm bearing the least burden. And then he's going like, ah! And then that's why Sukuna's like, oh, something's happening. Is someone getting killed almost? And then it's, you know, he's on the ropes, and that's why Sukuna's all interested all of a sudden. Maybe he'll be able to see someone die. But also, if you think about kind of the meta commentary, it is Fushiguro, right? So if Fushiguro ends up being in danger, then of course we know that Sukuna wants to keep Fushiguro alive. So it is almost kind of like a double tiered commentary here, you know, like, oh, do I have to come in for the save? But in the fourth panel, I think he really just wanted to see like someone die or someone get hurt, because he, you know, he's like, damn, as soon as he sees Itadori and Todo come in for the save, he's like, damn it, I was hoping that there was going to be a show. Yeah, so super funny little four panel comic here. But then, yeah, then our last page, we get the little the end, of course, referring to the Lost in Paradise final panel, but we got Kugisaki and Fushiguro added to the little picture here too. Yeah, so very, very cool, little cool bonus chapter. But next week we will be getting back into the main story, so that's good, because, you know, it's again, as they mentioned at the beginning of this bonus chapter, it's not like they're on hiatus or something like that. Indeed, I'm not too sure what the circumstances were, but they just needed a little bit more time, I guess, which is absolutely fine. So but yeah, hey, it was, you know, a little bit of a shorter chapter, but absolutely packed with content, and hopefully I was able to offer you a little bit of insight into the little jokes that may have confused some of the readers. Thanks so much, as always, for spreading that positive juju with a like and a comment and all that good stuff. I've been, you know, again, I seeing a lot of new faces and stuff too, and it's very cool to see a lot more people are enjoying Jujutsu Kaisen, obviously with the anime and the effect that it's had. But, you know, maybe it's just because I'm a manga loyalist or whatever, you know, because I translate the manga and stuff. The anime it's been absolutely amazing, but right now, I mean, the manga is really where it's at with what's going on in the story and stuff. So let's have our fingers crossed that Itadori and Todo are going to be okay. Something tells me that that there's going to be maybe a certain consequence. I don't think either of them are going to, you know, I don't think Todo's going to die or anything, but perhaps put out a commission somehow. Itadori, I don't know, maybe we'll see Sukuna come out. I don't know. But yeah, that was this week's little bonus special chapter. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you for next week's chapter when we are back to the main story. All right, cheers to you. I don't have anything in here anymore. You guys know that. I'm not drinking anything, but cheers to you. You know how we do. Mata yoroshiku. All right. Oh wait, hold on. Let me finish off with best girl here. There we go. All right.